Hey, witches!
Hi, hello, and welcome back.
It is another day of Fourth Wing. We're almost done.
Yeah, we are.
Like, we're almost done. And then we're going to do our fan
It's fan
cast.
cast time.
Yeah. Which we still got to list all the characters, too. Because yikes.
It's fine.
It is.
I got a
Totally
couple of contenders for Jack of Tharlo.
fine. Ugh. I don't. I do have a couple
I,
of ideas for Zayden, though.
I haven't even thought about him, to be honest. Every single time I think of Jack, or like even Liam, this one person just comes to mind, and I'm just like, hmm. And then I go back to like my reiterations of like my characters, or like the
Oh, wait.
people, or like my versions of like Violet or Zayden or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know.
But,
We'll see.
anyways,
Okay.
chapter 29.
Chapter 29. So, first things first, I didn't write this down, but I just read the little blurb at the top again. And it says the very first sentence, the death of the cadet is an inevitable yet acceptable tragedy. And I'm like, is it though? Like, is it? Are we sure?
Yeah.
Like, we couldn't just like if they weren't cutting it and weren't connecting with the dragon, we couldn't just like send them to infantry. No, we have to let them die. Like, are you kidding me, boys?
No.
You wait until we start recording to start screaming at each other. Properly chastised cats. Anyway, I was just super annoyed when I read that first little blip there again for the second, third, fourth, fifth time, however many times I've read it now. Um, but yeah,
I do like that we get like sometimes we get some unauthorized um editions when it comes to those little blurbs, and then we get like, you know, Brennan's side of things or whatever, but I really do appreciate
yeah,
the unauthorized edition.
yeah. So the first thing I said about this chapter was on this first page here. I think that's a 3, right? Yeah. I said, do not feel guilt over that idiot because Violet is beating herself up about killing Jack. And I'm like,
Hmm.
no, like he has continuously come for you and your people. Like he will keep coming for you
Hmm.
and he will never make the right choice. Like he's not going to make the ethical decision in any of these situations. Do not feel guilty about ridding the world of him. Like stop it.
Yeah. Here's the thing though, I I honestly like that she feels guilty about it because it makes her, I don't know. I mean, I get it and I completely side with you, but it gives her character more like depth. Like she doesn't.
And I mean, I can't say that like I've never obviously never killed anybody. So like I can't say that I wouldn't also feel guilty for taking a life. Right? Remember that Snapchat or did I send you that Snapchat where she was like talking about how there aren't very many documented female serial killers and she was
Yeah.
like that's cuz you don't catch us. And then she was like, "Oh, hold on a second. Us." I was cracking up. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I get it because the idea of taking a human life would be like traumatic, but
Hmm.
also this particular human life,
Yeah, I
meh,
get it.
meh.
I get it. I get it. But I mean, in the terms of the story, it gives her more of an
Yeah,
in-depth character thing. It makes her um stay who she is, true to herself. Is not like, yes, she's changed, but she's not been bad about it, you know?
yeah. I mean, I get it, but
I get it, but meh.
So the next thing I have is on page 365.
Same. So
And
I'm just saying, it's a motherfucking green flag.
yeah, that. And like, fuck you, Dane. Get the fuck out of here. Go away. You never have to do that. You don't have to use that power again. You don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck away from her with that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Like, not, oh no, you don't ever have to do that again. Oh, it's all going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. He's not going to come back from the dead. You are going to have to use that power again, but you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get through it. Like, you're going
Mm-hmm.
to be okay.
And that's why Xaden is such a green flag for this, because yeah, she's upset
Yes.
over what happened, but like,
She can't change it.
mm-mm.
So why wallow? And Dane was going to allow her to wallow.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's okay. Like, yeah, I get it. It's okay, but
She
like, you'll
doesn't
never have to
need
do it again.
protection.
Fine. Like, instead of letting her feel what she's feeling, just like telling
She don't
her
like
it's
brushing it
okay.
under the rug. Like, it's
Yeah,
okay.
it happens. It's fine.
Ugh.
And
Then,
honestly, she did it in an emotional reaction, because like
yeah.
somebody she grew to like trust and be friends with and everything, she thought he was going to die, and so in a state of panic she did this to help save her friends. So honestly, Dane, back off. It's not like she did it on purpose. She literally was like scared for her friend, and it came out of her like there was no tomorrow. Fuck you.
Yeah, and then literally like 2 pages, or no, not even 2 pages, the very next page, she's like, you don't have to use your, or Dane says, you don't have to use your power, Vi. And Zayden says, stop fucking coddling her. She's
Yeah.
not a child. She's a full grown woman, a writer. Start treating her like one and at least have the decency to give her the truth. You think Melgren or any other general, to include her own mother, is going to let her sit on a power like this? It's not like she can hide it, not the way she just demolished one of the practice forts. And yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, she's not going to be able to just not use this power again, because they're either going to force her to use it or she's going to have to fight them so she's not forced to use it. Which, either way,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to have to use it. So
Either let her do it and
fuck
get
off.
like practice around it, or you get
Yes.
herself killed. Like, how do you want to do it?
Yeah. And then I like what Taryn says the best. He says, do not wallow in guilt, Silver One. Whatever you feel is natural. Allow yourself to feel it, but then let it go. The wing leader made a valid point. With a signet like that, you are the best hope the kingdom has against the hordes of evil that seek to harm it. Rest, and I will see you tomorrow. I'll get my own saddle off.
Mm-hmm.
So, also, in the midst of that, Rhiannon is teasing her about being in a relationship with Zayden, and I love their friendship. She's like, we're not in a relationship. Oh, you're definitely in a relationship.
This bitch just killed somebody, and she's like, "You're definitely in a relationship. Let's talk about that."
Yeah, let's talk about boys.
I don't care that you just killed that dude, because like, good riddance. But like, let's talk about the tension between you and the ringleader or wing leader, because that's more juicy.
Right? I can't even.
I love that. But I basically, even before all of that, I was just like, girl, you need to wipe that boy up, because damn. He's treating you like the woman you need and the figure you need in your life.
So I
That's all
wrote
I said.
on page 368, I wrote drama queen. I'm trying to figure out what I was talking about. I don't know if I was talking about when she was like, Malik sits on his throne, angry that I stole a soul from his grasp, but then again, I gave him Jax. Of course, it might have broken mine forever. I'm guessing
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about, but
yeah, that's very, why is that very Feyre and Reese like?
oh my god.
I read that and I was like,
Ew.
Reese?
Ew.
Reese, why are you here?
Go back to your own book, sir. And then I don't have anything till the very last page of the chapter.
Is that 371?
371. Yep.
Yeah, same.
We probably wrote about the same thing again.
Yep.
So she and Zayden comes to her room and they're like talking, and she's talking about um, how they're talking about how she feels basically, and he's like, "We're writers. You do whatever you need to get it out. You want to yell, yell. You want to hit something, hit me. I can take it." He says, "Come on, show me what you've got," and then she just surges up on her toes, and kisses him. And so I wrote, yes.
I was like, huh. I was like, swim.
Finally. And then on the very next page, which is the first page of chapter 30, I don't know what I was talking about yet because I haven't looked at the page, but I wrote, "I roll, shut the fuck up, Zayden."
Fuck you.
Oh, because he says, "Violet, this isn't what you want." Shut the fuck up, Zayden.
Yeah.
Ah! I'm fine. Everything's fine.
No, you're not.
Oh my god, stop. My iPad is charging, so it's not sitting in a very advantageous spot. Anyway, she keeps trying to tell him what she wants, or he keeps trying to tell her what she wants.
Men.
It pisses me off.
They don't butt out.
And part of it is because, like, he's been told his whole life, basically, at least his entire, like, older life, like teen and adult years, that he is bad, and that he's bad because his dad was bad, and that he's a traitor, and that he's this and he's that. And so he's just taking all of that in and like running with it. And so he can't possibly see the good in himself to see why she might actually want him or want to be with him. And it's sad. But also, she's telling you that you are what she wants. It's very interesting parallel to the other series I'm reading right now, which is the Hades and Persephone saga. Because it's a very similar vibe. Like, she's all that's light and good in the world, but is she? No, everyone has their dark side, and then he is like the god of the dead, and it's very interesting parallel.
Yeah, it's also very parallel to what I'm reading and my other book that I'm reading too. In that it's a very conservative world, and that this shit doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely have a type of books that we like.
I was like, Will's like, "I just want to let you know, this is my favorite book." And I was like, okay. He's like, "There's no, I know you're used to reading porn, but that's not how this book goes." And I was like, okay. And he goes like, "When I say that, I mean they're very conservative in their promiscuity." And I was like, yeah.
I feel like Mistborn was like that. Like, Mistborn wasn't.
Yeah, like there wasn't like a
lot, like any sex or sexual, like a lot of sexualizing.
But they have a dominant hand and a shy hand, or whatever it's called, and the other hand is always covered up. So like in their clothes, like this hand is always like covered up by like a longer version of the sleeve. And this hand's out and about waving it all around. So when he said it's conservative, I was like, oh. So I guess I will go to another book if I want a little bit more space. Because this apparently doesn't have any.
It's not like necessary for a book to be good. I read lots of books that don't have spice.
It's just really good banter. There's a lot of good banter involved in books with smut. So, although there's a few good scenes, but this whole chapter has literally just been, well, the first part of it, I should say, is just a lot.
Yeah, it's sex.
That's all it is. It's all sex.
Yeah, the next the next thing I have, I didn't write anything else till page 383 because it's like
same. That's when it ended. Yeah. they basically give in to each other, is what happens. They have sex. She blows up everything. He breaks
Literally,
a
she
few of her
ruins like
things
all the furniture.
because her lightning powers. And his shadows like shatter a couple of things, I guess. I don't know. We also
Yeah,
found
well,
out that Zayden's obsessed with her hair.
we did find that out as well.
What
At
a
the
serious.
very end of that sex scene, though, he's like, she asks him why he guessed she could wield lightning because he said that earlier that he thought that that was her power. And he said, I thought you did it the first night Taryn channeled power to you, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't say anything. And she says, really? When? And he said, the first time you kissed me. And I'm like, that's because in all of these books, their power is always like easier to
Hidden.
channel with big emotions and yada, yada,
Mhm.
yada. And like big emotions aren't always anger or fear. Like sometimes it's love. And that's what we are seeing in this book.
Yeah.
Even though neither one of them have admitted that they love each other yet because they're annoying. And then on page, I don't have anything else till page 386.
Same.
Um, and I wrote "fuck all the way off."
I made a what is it? I laughed at Taryn because it's
So,
really, really funny that she gets pulled from her professor or with her to like she gets pulled from her room because it's her professor who's like, hey, we're gonna go help you get your shit together because I can't even trust you with your new signet while you're sleeping. And she's like, oh,
right, while I'm
yeah,
sleeping. Yeah, that's
you're right.
what was
Sorry, I am
happening.
such a. Yeah. So they go someplace secluded where nothing can happen. And she's like struggling to not channel, but like just get the power going. And um, she tells the professor that each time it happened, it was a result of an emotional reaction. And Terrence snorts when she says this out loud. Then he goes, all right, well, ground your power and try to feel whatever it was you were feeling. And so then Terrence's like, should I grab the wing leader?
I wrote about that too. I was just like, Taryn is such an ass with a laughing face. But
I
also, I
love
wrote
her.
fuck all the way off because up at the top of that page, the professor, is this Professor Carr? Is that who we're talking to here?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is like, can I give you a piece of advice? And she's like, please do. And he says, keep your loyalties clear. You and Rearson both have exceptional lethal power that any rider would be envious of. But together, you would be a formidable enemy to who could not simply afford to let exist. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, fuck all the way off. Just because his dad was a part of the rebellion, like you just automatically assume that
Yeah.
he's going to be. And then also, have you ever considered that maybe you're on the wrong side? Like,
Right. Like, what about the rebellion was going on? And that's something too. Like, we don't even know.
right.
We just know that there was a rebellion. We don't. I
We don't
mean,
know why.
readers don't know.
Right.
Readers don't know if like Violet and them have been told about it, which I don't think they
Yeah,
have been.
I don't think so.
I think they just said that there was like a rebellion against the king that was happening, which I mean
Yeah.
is true. They're just omitting certain details.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
like you don't know.
yeah.
Ugh.
And then basically the rest of the chapter is her struggling to aim.
Yeah. And it's just funny too because Zayden decides he's going to get involved in this wonderful fest. And to help her out, he's like, oh, Would you like to see last night from my point of view? And gave it to her, and she's like, hello. And he's like, you're welcome. I was helping you out. And Terrence just laughing his ass off. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
that's how you do it then.
So
Damn, Zayden,
then,
do it again.
and then we're into chapter 31. And at the beginning of this chapter, there's some awkward banter because Zayden shows up at her room to help her clean up the mess that they made. And while they're cleaning, she picks up the book that Mira gave her that was her dad's, like the book that she really wanted of like fairy tales or whatever. And it's like the binding is partially split. And she sees like a piece of paper peeking out of it. As soon as she pulls it out, it's a letter from her dad. And it's super fucking cryptic. Like there's no detail. It says, "My Violet, by the time you find this, you'll most likely be in the scribe quadrant. Remember that folklore is passed from one generation to the next to teach us about our past. If we lose it, we lose the links to our past. It only takes one desperate generation to change history, even erase it. I know you'll make the right choice when the time comes. You've always been the best of both your mother and me. Love, Dad." And I'm like, first of all, cryptic much. Second of all, like, I feel like that's what people are trying to do now. Like, they're trying to whitewash our history and cut out half the truth of what happened and make the United States look better than it is.
But it's so crazy though. Like when people see that, they're like, nah, that can't happen. Like it's just like the naysayers just like read that, and it's like, but it's so easy to do that.
Yeah.
I don't care how you.
It's just like the people that don't believe that the Holocaust is real. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. But it seriously, like, the one generation literally wiped out a different type of generation. The generation of like a religious generation. Tried wiping them out.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking serious? Or like, there's a what is it called? Oh, what some schools are doing right now. They're banning books, more specific, the nonfiction books. Of like, not necessarily. I know like Of Mice and Men is not, you know, it's a fiction book, but it's pretty close to what like how people treated each other, and so it's like people who with disabilities can't see how people treated them back then. Like people of color can't see how they were treated back then. Like we're just all supposed to assume that everyone from like Hairspray was fun and happy going, and everyone was super chill with that. No,
all the bad things that happen. Like, no,
whatever. But it's like maybe. Here's the thing. I wonder, and take this with a grain of salt. We both finished the book, so we both kind of know what happens. But, you know how he says at the end of it, where he's like, "I know you'll make the right choice." Maybe he actually sided with the rebels, or he not necessarily sided, but he like.
I think so.
He not sided, but
with them.
Yeah, like sympathized. He's a sympathizer. Like
I think
he's not gonna try to help out, but he like understands the cause. But now, because of all the shit that has happened, and like maybe he's hoping that she is going to, I don't know, see all of the hints here and there and then hope she makes the right choice from there. But he doesn't know. She's not in the scribe quadrant.
Right. Because he probably can't imagine that his wife would do that to their child. Like, because they all just assumed that she was going to die. Like, not a damn one of them thought she was going to survive.
No. That brings about a different theory, but we haven't gotten that far yet. I have that. That's a different theory for later, though.
The next thing I have is on page 393, because they're arguing back and forth about how they're not going to fall for each other, and
Lies.
she calls him an emotional chicken shit. And he's like, I have no intention, absolutely no intention of falling for you, Sorengale. Bitch, you already have. I hate to let me break your little heart by telling you that you definitely already have fallen for her. Like, not even a question. So, yeah. And they're just being ridiculous for like the next multiple pages. There's so much tension and they're being so just ridiculous.
I'm so proud of her. What is it? Where is it? It's either before she throws him out of her room or it's the next day on like the reunification day. Oh, it's the next day when they're when they're at lunch or breakfast or whatever. I guess she looked over at him and he like said to her in her head, like, don't look at me like that. She's like what? And then he looks over to her and he goes, like, you're thinking about the sparring gym last night. And she goes, well, now that you mention it. And then she like flicks her tongue over her lower lip, remembering, and then she pictures what happened last night. And then his jaw flexes and then his grip tightens on his fork. And so then he like replays back to him. So like she's having this whole like little conversation, and it's really, really funny that she is doing all of this bullshit to him and like teasing him. She just goes back to him and says, if you just man up and admit there's something between us, I would strip down to my skin so you could see every single inch of me. And once I had you begging, I dropped down on my knees, undo those flight leathers you're wearing, and wrap my lips around. And then he just chokes in front of everybody, in front of everybody in the cafeteria, in front of his friends, the all so powerful, secretive, cool wing leader chokes, and nobody knows why. And it's just so funny because all eyes are on him as he's like dying. And I'm like, I'm so proud of her. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, girl.
Like, Liam's over here rolling his eyes because he knows exactly what the fuck is going on. It makes me laugh.
I love it. It's so great. I like how everybody with a fucking tattoo knows what's going on. And it's like, damn, bro. You're just telling everyone's secrets. I almost spilled that.
It's the fucking party or whatever.
Oh, Reclamation Day?
Yeah, whatever it's called. I can't find the name of it.
It was just on a page. Reunification Day.
Okay. And they go to her and Liam and Rhiannon and Riddick.
Yeah.
Go to the party. And first of all, this party is fucking twisted. And Violet realizes that because basically this whole party is celebrating the death of all of the rebels. So all of the kids with rebellion tattoos or relics, um, like this is the day that all of their parents were murdered in front of their faces. So this
Mm-hmm.
is fucked.
But they're supposed to be there because the king said so.
Yeah, and Liam is the only one that's there because he's there for Violet.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking twisted and gross. And then on page 404, so first of all, page 403, her mom is there and the king is there and they're like talking back and forth and they're talking shit about Liam right in front of his fucking face, like fucking assholes. Um, uh, oh, and then they're talking back and forth and she's like, um, talking about Zayden, or Melgren is, and she's like, he's actually our wing leader. He saved my life when we were on the front lines at Montserrat. Um, and her mom looks at the king and is like, their dragons are mated. So she's grown quite close to him out of necessity. And first of all, fuck you, mom. Like, you don't know. You're not here. We haven't spoken in
Right.
forever. And then the king goes, that's excellent. It's good to have a Sorengale on lookout for us. You'll let us know if he decides to, oh, I don't know, start another war. Fuck right off, your majesty. Like,
What a dick.
you're, well, because again, this goes right back to like blaming the children for their parents' crimes. Like, you don't even know him. Why are you just assuming? I mean, what you're not gonna realize is that if y'all don't fucking chill out, you're gonna have Violet starting another fucking war
Honestly,
against
though.
y'all. But it's just, ugh. And then she basically realizes that this fucking sucks and they're leaving. So
Yeah.
Dane decides to be a normal fucking human being and a good friend for once and distracts people basically while her and Liam slip out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she realizes where Zayden is. Because he is mourning his father's death out in the middle of the parapet.
Good for her.
And like, I get it. You love him. That's great. I'm not going out there. I wasn't going out there the first time. I'm not going out there. Nope, not doing.
You know, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, okay, listen, my measurements, my numbers, my brain and numbers apparently just don't work. You could tell me something is 3 inches, and I will sit here and say, all right, that's 3 inches. Someone will sit here and say a few. I'll sit here and say that's 7. Like, my brain and numbers don't work. It doesn't matter. So when I read 15, I was thinking like this. That's not fucking 15. Hold on. I got a measure right here. That's 6 inches. And I'm over here thinking she's walking a fucking tightrope when she's actually walking this.
Yeah, but still, it's way, way up in the air and it's windy and it's slippery.
Well, yeah. But, like, this is a little less terrifying than
It is, for sure.
what I thought.
Yeah, no, that's definitely less terrifying than what you thought.
But yeah, I was like, damn.
But I'm
What
not
the
doing
hell
it
is
either
happening?
way.
Yeah, listen, if anyone needs me for like anything that comes with math or like numbers, and it's going to save their life, like bon voyage, you're not living.
She said you're not finna make it.
Yeah, fuck no.
So that's the end of chapter 31. Chapter 32. I don't have anything till page 410.
Same. I basically just said men are stupid
I
because only okay, and take this with a grain of salt for any men that actually listen. I'm not saying like that you're stupid, but when it comes to women, like the way people okay, men and their way of thinking are one way. Women in their way of thinking are another way. And the same thing for this. Women have this thing for mind fucking each other. We like to fuck each other over. When we don't like each other, we do it to the brain. We do it where it hurts in the psychological aspects of our mind. Men like to fight it out. So when she sits here and starts talking about Imogen as if she is a fucking like adversary for your love, don't get all flabbergasted as if you didn't fucking see that coming. What? If this is about this, if this is about bro, that is her insecurity. That is her
right.
insecurity talking. Don't get pissed off at her.
Well, even before that, like she says this, she like pours her heart out. Like she says all this stuff, and then she's like, I told you that I was the one who would decide when I'm ready to risk my heart, and I'm saying it. And he says, you don't mean that. Stop fucking telling her what she means and how she feels. You don't get to decide that.
Yeah.
It's making me mad.
You looking for your package?
No, there were people going by on a bike, and the guy looked like he was about to fall over in my driveway. So, anyway.
No, you were looking for your package.
Well, I would love for my package to get here, but that was not my package. Then on the next page, so they go through this whole thing, and she's like, she realizes because he kind of tells her that Imogen likes Garrick, not Xaden, and she's like, oh, okay. And then she's like,
I'm just glad we found out too that he was jealous of her.
yeah, and then she's like, wait, what do you mean you know the feeling of jealousy well? You fucking idiot. Like, what do you mean? What does he mean? Like, what do you think he means by that? I can't even with them.
I mean, to be honest, how it was written, like how it was said, I got confused too. I was like, what? I know the feeling well. What do you mean you know the feeling well? That she's strong and ruthless?
Oh my god.
Does that mean that's my own insecurities?
I
I don't even like register that like he might be jealous. I'm just registering that she's fierce and this and that.
I can't even.
Will just told me that his bike has a flat tire. By flat tire, I mean like flat, like needs a new tire flat.
Where's he at?
I mean, he's only like 6 minutes from me.
Also,
but like
then
we don't have a towing thing, so
well,
it's just more money down the drain.
Yikes. On that note, go look it up our Patreon.
Please, Emily is broke.
Oh my god. Anyway, Squilliam, we're gonna okay, so he realizes that she walked out onto the parapet and that they're on the parapet and she's out there, and he's like, you fucking idiot. Don't you ever put yourself in danger just to talk to me again. And she's like, you put yourself in danger. And he's like, my shadows can catch me. And she's like, oh. And then they find a way to get over their sadness. They find a very effective way to be over their sadness for multiple pages.
Yeah,
and then
right. The what is it? Oh, he said, I've wanted you from the first second I saw you, Violence, and if I was short with you today, well, it's just a shit day. So, again, this not changes everything. This confirms what, not really confirms. Okay, anyways. So when I first read this, and I read that, I was like, if he wanted her from the first moment he saw her, why the fuck is he sitting there saying, I'm gonna kill you?
Because that's what
Bruh.
everyone expected. And that's probably how he thought she felt. Like that they were supposed to hate each other, so he probably was like protecting himself by doing that because he's a man.
Well, yeah, and I mean, also, his whole little self-deprecating self, I'm not worthy. But on the other part of it, makes me wonder if he knew of her already prior to that, like knew like some like yes, I know he goes to Bisgayeth and he probably knew of her because of Lilith Sorengale and all of that and like the siblings. But like, did you know her before knowing her? Did you love her before because you knew what kind of person she was and she like seeing her confirmed everything?
That I don't know.
Anyways.
But then at the end of their like they're going for number 5, right? Is that where they're at? Yeah, we're going for 5.
Oh yeah, because he goes, "You want to go for three or for third?" We're going for five.
Yeah. Yeah. And someone knocks on the door and they're in Zayden's room, right? So like someone knocks on the door and Zayden's like, go away. And he's like, I really wish I could. And this made me realize, first of all, when I read this page, I was like, what the fuck? Because I was like, I don't remember this. Because I've
I
already
was
read
so
this already.
confused. I
So
was
I
like,
was like, I don't remember this. Like, what is happening? And then I quickly realized, first of all, why you kept reading. Because this was a fucking cliffhanger. So I understand
yeah,
why you kept reading. But I didn't
I
remember
couldn't.
this.
I was like, nope. Okay, here we go.
So basically, the last sentence says, grab your flight leathers and you better bring Sorengale with you too, Garrick says. We're under attack. So that's the end of chapter 32 and this episode.
Here's the thing: when I first heard or read that, I was really, really concerned. I was like, "There's an attack." First off, where the fuck are these griffins coming from, flying from? How in
Right?
the
Because this is
hell?
like the middle of shit. Like,
Yeah, like how in the hell is any of this bullshit happening? And I was like, no. The whole entire fucking ward system like went down if this is happening. Like, call the fucking alarm system. Like, get ready to off yourself because shit is going down and it's not coming back. Like, what the
this is
fuck?
the end.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I was like, no, I can't. I can't stop reading. I gotta keep going. So,
Well, and then
anyways,
like it's jam packed till the end of the book from here on. So the next 2 episodes are going to be really like woo woo.
and it was 3 a.m. when I finished reading my book. I was like, okay, here we go. Okay.
So yeah, that's that.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.